Hi, my name is Sean Mabry. I'm a writer, and today I wanted to talk about your patronage. Now, I'm not talking about Patreon or any of the other modern, crowdfunding, audience funding models that exist today. I'm talking about your patronage in actually a very traditional sense. I'm thinking of the great Renaissance masters who would have a patron who basically funded their painting and lifestyle in return for basically being able to commission custom projects, like those great frescoes. And you might be wondering, well, Jean, that's not. I don't have a patron, right? I mean, I've certainly fantasized about it because let's face it, any artist has at some point in their life fantasized about, what if I just had someone to completely bankroll my life and I wouldn't have to worry about the commercial side of things and I could just go and make my art without a care in the world? Wouldn't that be great? Look, I've had that fantasy in a dozen different forms throughout my life. It's a perfectly understandable fantasy. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But I want you to understand that you actually do have a patron right now. At least I'm fairly certain you do. If you have a day job, you have a patron right now. If you have a family who is, willing to let you, stay in their home still, if you're an adult and, you haven't quite launched yet, no judgment there. Honestly, it took me a while too. Whatever the case may be, anyone who is giving you resources that go beyond your basic survival and who are asking you to do something in return. And I'm going to stick with the day job here because it's more clean cut, but think of what a day job, think of what any sort of job is. You get paid a certain amount to do the work. And, for most people, if you really drill down into what that income looks like, there's a certain a portion of that, and frankly, earlier in your career, probably a good chunk of that is going to basic survival. That money's going to food, shelter, clothing, all the basics. But there's always going to be a little portion left over, even if it's only like $10 out of every paycheck, $5 out of every paycheck. There's always going to be something left over from your spending that isn't for basic survival. And as long as you have the discipline to spend that wisely, and I know I'm talking about an extreme scenario here, and trust me, I'm not saying you have to live like an absolute Spartan your whole life. I mean, look, I like to take my girlfriend out on nice dates. I occasionally, very, very rarely like to buy new clothes. Like, I still, spend money on little luxuries, but essentially the way I look at my income that goes, whatever's left over after those basic necessities, that is my patronage. My boss, whether he knows it or not, is patronizing the novel I'm working right now. He's patronized all the short stories and other projects I've been working on since I joined the company on my own time. And what's so powerful about this is that if you truly recognize this concept and internalize it, you realize that you have incredible artistic freedom already, and you have incredible artistic opportunities in front of you already. And the only thing that needs to stay in place for that to be true is, again, you have to have the discipline to A, spend your time, and B, spend your money on the things that will actually develop your craft and actually develop you as an artist. So do that. I mean, seriously, just do that. Make that your top priority when it comes time to set your budget, if you even set a budget. I still don't, but I need to get to that soon. But put that at the top of your mind. When you've paid off your basic expenses and you have that little bit left, even if it's not much, just understand that money is your patronage. That is the money from the universe or God or whatever else you want to call it. Essentially, has given that money to you to pay for you to become the artist you need to become. And to one day even become the artist who can completely self-fund and just live off of the art, which of course is the dream for a lot of us too. So I hope you found that little distinction useful for you today. And as always, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you again next week. Bye.